What's cracking, big dogs? This is the Fade the Public podcast where we fade the public. I'm Nicholas. That is Snacks. That is Animal. We're 1 week away from doing a live show, and I couldn't be more fucking excited. Today, we are going to do Parade It or Fade It. Animal has come up with 15 to 20 diabolical questions in which he will ask myself and Snacks, and we will either agree with the statement, so we will parade it, or we will disagree with the statement, so we shall fade it. Fellers?
Simple concept.
How we doing? How you doing?
What's cracking, big dogs?
I'm doing a lot better now, I can tell you that.
You're doing way worse now.
No, that kind of energy inspires me.
You're right. I'm energized. Snacks, we both said that we had good sleep last night.
Great sleep.
We're ready for a good episode. Things are going really well right now for the brand. If you guys haven't checked out this week's newsletter, we got a new email blast going out every single Monday, handwritten by Snacks himself. Don't be surprised when Snacks gets his fingers on the tip of this pen and spews out some beautiful, beautiful poetic wordplay straight to your inboxes. You can go to bigdogsfantasy.com. Also, there will be a link down below in the description if you want to sign up for the newsletter and just keep in touch with everything that's going on behind the scenes with the brand. I'm ready to play some Paraded or Faded. What we think? All right, Scotty boy, hit that intro.
It's only been 2 days, but I'm developing a slight problem where I DM OJ Simpson at 2:30 in the morning.
I thought that was going somewhere else, but that's...
No, I don't know why. It's like a thrill. I get like a rush out of sending the DM to him. Like, yo, what's up, Juice?
What's up, Juice?
I was like, come on, Juice. I know you want to come on.
No. You gotta stop calling him Juice or OJ. You gotta call him yours truly. That's what he calls himself. What's up, Twitterverse? This is yours truly.
I heard you like prefacing that statement in the kitchen as well. And I was like, I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking something totally different.
Same. Something like sexual or deviant or like disgusting. That's really funny though that you keep doing that. Hopefully he answers you one day. It'd be fucking imagine he was like, creep, leave me alone.
Leave me alone or I'm getting my knife.
That would be a fine response.
Dude, fucking City Bike started putting in electric bikes all around the city. I rode one today. It's fucking sick. I'm an idiot. I went to go to Bryant Park and I packed up my shit and I went there and I walked there instead of taking the bike there. And it was like 25 minute walk. And I get there, I sit down, ready to start work. And I realized I fucking left my laptop at my fucking apartment.
That is
no work.
No. Like
that's something I would do.
Really unproductive morning today. It was fucking terrible. City Bike, yeah, really pumped up. I ordered an actual bicycle though, which I'm fucking stoked about. The stimulus check came in, fucking spent it in about 5 seconds. I can't believe I got one. I was pumped up. Wasn't there like criteria behind it? I guess I didn't do my taxes last year, so that's why.
Everyone I think gets it, just so the amount is different based on like what you make.
Yeah, I didn't do any 2019 taxes yet, so like they probably still think I made like $14, which is phenomenal.
Well, yeah, it goes off your 2018. 2018 taxes. So
yeah, unless you probably did your 2019 taxes, then I feel like it probably.
Yeah, then it would, but you're good then.
We're good. We're good, boys. The bicycle's coming. Start the fucking show.
All right, let's go, everybody. Welcome to Parade It or Fade It. This is, I believe, the third edition, maybe the fourth. I don't know. Yeah, I believe so. Nick explained the rules before. It's very simple. I'm going to read. It's not even a question. It's a statement. And you guys will decide whether you want to parade it or fade it, whether you like it or you don't. First question coming up right now. Let's go. All righty. Christian McCaffrey finishes as the fantasy RB1 again. Parade it or fade it?
Fade it. Fade it. He's coming back down to earth, and his earth is pretty incredible. So he's going to probably be RB2. His
earth is pretty Mars-like.
It's pretty Mars-like, but he's not going to be RB1 because Saquon's going to play full 16 games. That Giants offense is going to hum. He's going to get every touch under the sun. He's going to eclipse 16 touchdowns and over 2,000 yards, all purpose.
Are you done?
And C-Mac's not going to do either.
There is
RB1.
no difference between C-Mac's outlook last year and this year. They did not bring any competing running back. They bring in Joe Brady, who somehow made Clyde Edwards-Helaire catch 55 passes in a college fucking offense. Christian McCaffrey might break his record again for most receptions. They have a better check down quarterback under center, better overall quarterback under center, which will lead to more drives, more offense. Their defense is absolutely terrible. Their defense is terrible, which means they're going to have to score a lot of points to catch up. So I parade it. Yes, he's going to be the RB1 again this year.
Okay, that's fine, and it's a fair argument. But the Giants' defense is completely abysmal, and the guy that I am picking as the one I'm fading McCaffrey for has a stronger offensive line now. Okay, he's healthy, and he's ready to fucking go. So fade, easy fade.
So here's my problem with Saquon and C-Mac. I do think it's the 1-2. Daniel Jones being the quarterback, being a mobile quarterback, I think eliminates a lot of the checkdowns. I think C-Mac has a much higher pass catching ceiling. It's the difference between catching 70 passes and probably 90 to 100 passes this year.
I just think I think McCaffrey's going to sit out the last 2 games of the year. So
that's why you're just going to assume he's going to sit out the last 2 games of the year.
I was just going to go with the fact that it's very hard to go back to back as the fantasy RB1. But all right, yeah, Snack's argument, last 2 games. I like that.
Thank you.
All righty, next question or next whatever. Start your rookie season with a girlfriend. Parade it or fade it. Your NFL player.
That's got to be an instant fade, right? Like you can't come into an NFL locker room with all these juiced up individuals that are going to go out and party and do all this thing and be tied down your first year, right? Unless you're a franchise quarterback and you want to stay out of the headlights, you find a nice girl to dial it down with and be like that. But, coming in as, for me personally, probably a punter, I wouldn't want a girlfriend. So I will fade that one.
Yeah.
I think you could get a girlfriend as a punter?
I think you get to all of them.
Yeah, probably.
That's an easy fade as well. I mean, you're coming into the league at 21, depending on where you're
in the prime of your life.
Maybe depends where you land. Like if you get drafted to any team on the East or West Coast, I'm probably going to take that up. But say you land in
Cincinnati.
Yeah, even like Green Bay.
There's still hot girls in Cincinnati, and you still travel all over the country to all those other cities.
I don't know about that.
Banging salutes in every single city you go to, every away game.
They're not partying during the weeks though. They have to work throughout the weeks and shit.
Yeah, and when they're traveling, they're playing.
In the wintertime, you're playing at Lambeau. You want to be cuddled up next to someone, when it's fucking negative 22 degrees. If I'm on the East Coast, it's an easy fucking fade. Anywhere even close to New York, Miami, California, Florida. I'm not having a girlfriend, let alone my first year, fucking ever.
Yeah. I actually think
career.
There's probably 5 cities in the Midwest, like Minnesota, Detroit, Green Bay. Maybe
the whole NFC North.
The NFC North, right. Other than that, I think Cleveland and Cincy too. Those 2 places are boring as sin.
What happens if you come into the league with a longtime girlfriend though, and you land on the LA Rams? You come into the league with a long-term girlfriend. You land on the Rams. What are you doing?
It's not you. It's me.
Yeah,
love that.
You dump her, or
I'd flip that around. I'd say it's not me. It's you. Let her go.
Yeah.
Well, we're trying to be respectful in these neck of the woods.
Fair responses. Corey Davis pulls a Devontae Parker and has a 5th-year breakout. Parade it or fade it?
It's just irresponsible to parade this because,
what have we seen?
Yeah, it's just Parker's comeback was 1 in a billion, in a zillion, dare I say. So to have any sort of confidence, I've never really been a fan of Davis. So to say that's going to happen is just
right. And I also just think there's not going to be enough opportunities there with AJ Brown and them handing the ball off 14,000 times a game. So I haven't seen it from him. I like Nick said, it's irresponsible to bank on him.
At least with Miami, yeah, they didn't have, for some reason, they went the entirety of his rookie contract without adding an alternate option in the passing game. You know what I mean? Yeah. They just continued to think that Albert Wilson, who only plays about 2 games a year, is the complement to Devontae Parker. They're we're just going to keep giving you that alpha role. So maybe if fucking AJ Brown hadn't emerged as the beast that he is, still an absolute 0 chance of Corey Davis doing it, but a more
maybe
0.1,
more than 0.1.
Yeah, throw a percentage dial in there. So no, fuck Corey Davis.
2 fades.
All right, very fair, very fair. J.K. Dobbins will have more yards and receptions, but less touchdowns than Mark Ingram. Parade it or fade it?
I'm gonna parade that. So he's gonna have more yards and receptions, but less touchdowns. Yeah,
More yards from scrimmage. So
yeah. I could easily see him like midway through the year getting more touches, possibly the most in that backfield. But Ingram, once that ball gets to the 1 yard line, either Lamar's gonna run it in or they'll have Ingram back there and get in the goal line work. So I will parade that.
I will actually fade that because I think it gives you a 1 out of 2 chance to hit on either the yards or the receptions for that to be a fade. Like you have to assume Ingram's going to have more touchdowns. You have to assume probably that Dobbins is going to be way more efficient, so he'll probably have more yards. I don't know where the receptions come into play, only because this is not a team that
passes to the running back.
They don't pass to the running back.
Yep.
They don't design plays for that to be the case. So I don't think they're going to be like Dobbins is our pass catching guy. You know what I mean? So they're not going to design plays for him to do that. So I think the majority of passes that do go to the running back will just happen out of Lamar's necessity. So in that case, I'll just go with the running back that's probably going to be on the field more and give it more opportunity for that to be the play Lamar dumps it off for.
Yeah, I can see that. But I also wouldn't put it behind me. That Ravens coaching staff and their offensive staff is it's brilliant.
They're really smart, so they're going to know that Dobbins.
Well, Dobbins is a natural pass catcher.
That's what I'm saying. So like once they see that, they can easily start incorporating that. So that's something I would bank on in why I would parade it. So.
No, you're right. You're right about that.
Number 5. CD Lamb finishes behind both Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup in fantasy points, half PPR. Parade it or fade it?
I will. My brain's not working right now, so I'm not sure if I need to parade this or fade this, but I will. I'm going to go out on a limb this year and say that CD Lamb outscores Michael Gallup in fantasy points.
That's basically what it comes down to, because we all assume Amari is going to be the one still there. So
yeah. So am I parading this or fading? I don't remember what the question was.
You would parade it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. You would fade it.
You would fade it. I said CD Lamb's going to finish behind both Amari and Michael.
Okay, I'm going to fade it because I think CD gets ahead of Michael Gallup. And a lot of it is just the fact that I do think CD Lamb's going to be the guy that gets into the slot. And I don't think the slot is necessarily like a position that you need to have chemistry for, right? Like even we were talking about Golden Tate today. Like he comes to the Giants last year and then fucking out of nowhere, rookie quarterback. It's not like these two have chemistry whatsoever. And Golden Tate was incredibly, opportunist in that offense. And now last year, like Randall Cobb went over 900 receiving yards, right? While Gallup kind of had his breakout. And I think that CeeDee Lamb, extremely, extremely talented compared to a guy like Randall Cobb, makes way more plays after the catch. So even if his average depth of target is like in that slot range while Randall Cobb was catching the ball, he makes way more plays after the catch that I think will, boost up his kind of stats and stuff. So I see like 4 to 5 targets a game for CD, maybe even more than that, and competing realistically for that wide receiver 2 role in the offense overall. And I just think he's more explosive, so he'll add more to the bottom line fantasy-wise.
Probably would have went with what you said until you said it. So I will parade it. I will parade it, and I knew you would like this, Max, because I'm gonna say exactly what you would fucking say right in this situation. Gallup's in the offense again.
Yes.
It's not changing much. We know what we got with him last year. It was his breakout year. And shit, maybe he's got a little chip on his shoulder. They just took CeeDee Lamb at 18, 17 overall after him coming off that big year, and they didn't take the safety they could have used or something. Parade it, bitch.
It's like it came right out of my mouth.
I know. I'm pissed.
Yeah, it's disgusting. all I see is puke coming out of Snack's mouth.
Beautiful. I love it. All righty. The Patriots and Tom Brady will have a Last Dance type documentary.
Parade it. How can you not?
Oh, absolutely.
How can you not? And I think that might be the next great one we get.
You know what I think the problem might be though with that? The Last Dance was so great because they let them they had all the access, documenting shit for so long.
They've been doing that with the Patriots. Trust me, they have tapes and tapes of the Patriots.
But not the juicy shit, man. Like the stuff they had in the Last Dance was like every time they talked about something, they had footage of it. I don't think we're going to get that. They're going to be able to put together something fucking amazing, obviously, just because it was such a long stretch of time and so many like dominant things happened within that dynasty. I feel like we're going to be left wanting more like cool, juicy stories and footage behind it. Like out here, we're trying to fucking document everything behind the scenes. I just feel like the Patriots were a team that pushed that kind of stuff away, right? Obviously, they don't care.
You're underestimating NFL Films and how much like they have.
No, I don't think he is. The NFL Films is phenomenal, and they are going to put.
But like game film, great. They are. Yeah.
No, but they have. I'm telling you, they have archives and archives of footage, just like walking into the tunnels and locker rooms and stuff that they don't release for these reasons.
Of course not. I don't know if Michael Jordan was literally followed exclusively. Like with his own personal security. I can't see much of that with Brady and Belichick and all that. We weren't really old enough to kind of live through it all and whatnot. Watch it with my dad, and there was half the shit he had no idea about. So I wonder if like in a Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, Patriots Dynasty, Last Dance documentary, how much real cutthroat shit we get like we did in the Last Dance.
Well, you got to think like if you break it up like by chapters, how they did with the Last Dance, you got to think about like, you know, Brady getting drafted, the injury that let him go in. Then you got to think of like the whole Aaron Hernandez thing has to have
first Super Bowl, and then all the there's a lot there that they could definitely use.
100%. They're gonna get one, and it's gonna. I mean,
even when you look at like the Do Your Job and like all those other the 1 hour specials that they've had on the Patriots and Brady and Belichick, that footage is also very cool that you have never seen before. They put stuff like that, like the stuff where it's like Brady and Belichick sitting at the desk talking about like Ed Reed. Like that was awesome.
That was cool. Parade it or fade it. When they do the Last Dance of the Patriots, Prez is interviewed for it.
Parade it.
You think ESPN will interview him?
I mean,
well, maybe. What if ESPN does? Well, I guess they have to. They did the Last Dance.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked the hard-hitting questions.
He won't be in it as like a interviewee, but I'm sure you're going to see some footage of him tied to
when
the
they were arrested.
Yeah, there's going to be something.
I feel like that it's almost you kind of have.
They have to. They have to ask him about some of that shit. Yeah. Okay. Next question.
We need a Tiger Woods one of those, by the way.
Marlon Mack will have over 28 and a half receptions this season, causing Mike and Noah to lose the bet to me. Parade it or fade it.
So you made give everyone the context behind the bet.
Oh, so during the NFL draft, when Jonathan Taylor was drafted to the Indianapolis Colts, I made a bet with Mike Me Up and FB God.
Let's go. Let's get it. What it do?
About Marlon Mack's receptions for the season. I said he would have over 28 and a half. And that was the line. And it was a $50 bet. So I give them $50 if he doesn't go over. And they give me $50 if he does go over.
I'm going to fade it. I think you lose the bet. It was gaining a little bit of steam, and it started to make sense in the fact that Mack has been a good enough pass catcher, but they just don't use him in that role. Mm-hmm. What the thinking behind this is that Jonathan Taylor takes over as like the every down thumper or the early down thumper in a sense, takes over a lot of the goal line work, at least like a month into the season. And Marlon Mack starts playing the scat back in sort of like a Denver type role where it's like, you know, Philip Lindsay took the rushing work and Freeman became more of like the pass catcher kind of in that offense. Like I could see Mack getting less work on the ground. Overall, though, like he just doesn't catch a lot of passes in that offense, and I don't want to bank on him setting a career high when another running back is coming in and basically taking his job. And we just heard the reports of Frank Reich coming out and saying that there's going to be a game where Nyheim Hines catches like 10 passes. So clearly they have ideas for all of these three backs getting very involved in the offense this year. I think one of them will probably end up with like 35 receptions, but I'd probably bank on it being Hines over Marlon Mack.
I was going with the fact that he had 14 receptions last year. He was hurt a couple of games, and he didn't have Philip Rivers as his quarterback, who he does now. Throws to the running back a lot more, probably more than most quarterbacks. I don't have the actual numbers in front of me. I'm not a stat guy, but we all know that Philip Rivers throws the ball to his running back. So that was the thinking behind it. But yeah, Snacks, what'd you say? You're fading?
I'm gonna fade it. I just don't think he could get up to that total. Well, not that I don't think he can. You know, like Nick was saying, Hines has been their pass catching back, and they clearly have plans for him still there. So I think it's a difficult number to get to, and I wouldn't be surprised if he literally falls on 28. So you lose the bet by a half.
Rivers coming in definitely is to back up the stats. He basically had the highest percent, like top 3 in terms of percentage of his throws going to running backs the last few years in LA and San Diego and whatnot. So, I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know. I don't want to.
I think it's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be something that we'll be talking about during the season as it goes along.
It'll be fun to follow along. It will be for sure.
All righty. You signed a rookie contract and your first big purchase is a house. Parade it or fade it?
Also depends on the location. I mean, because if you're in a new place, like obviously you need to have somewhere to live, right?
Could buy a car.
I wouldn't need to. I don't think I'd buy a car either. And I just know I wouldn't buy a house. So I'm gonna fade it and just not really give much there because I don't need this big fancy, cozy living area.
But if you end up in like a Cincinnati or something, I'd probably end up buying a house
Probably
in the
prefer
suburbs.
want to buy something nice. I hear you. So
But if I live in
definitely,
like if I'm drafted by the Jets or the Giants or something, like I'm gonna get a fucking penthouse in Manhattan or something. I don't know if I'd buy a house off the rip. I feel like a house, just my personality, like I don't like being fucking tied down to something like that, especially that's something with such financial vested interest in. Like once you do that, there's really no coming back from it. Like you can't just buy it and then sell it right away. So I will fade it. I will find other ways to spend my money ignorantly.
I'm gonna fade it and just go on a renting spree, because in the NFL you never know what happens. What if you get cut the next year? God forbid.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of the house.
You're on the move again. So the first thing I'll buy is I'll probably buy a pizzeria and really get my second business.
You get your first job and immediately start a second job.
Yeah.
Love it.
Correct.
Huge power move.
I would just buy like 13 bicycles, I feel like.
Yeah.
2 of them that are electric.
All the coolest different colors. All righty. Mitch Trubisky will be the Bears' week 1 starter. Parade it or fade it?
Fade it. It's Nick Foles.
Wow. All right. You really think it's Nick Foles? You think they're just not even going to let him trot out there? Trubisky's just done.
I think he's going to beat him out if they have a fucking summer camp competition. I mean, they know what they have in Trubisky. Why are they going to pretend like they don't know what they have?
And I think that's why he gets the week 1 start, because with a condensed offseason programming, they got a guy who already knows the offense. So I think in their best interest of what they'll be thinking is, okay, we'll give Mitch his one last shot. And if he's abysmal, as we all know he is, Foles comes in and does what he does. So
yeah,
I think week
1's got to be Trubisky.
Nah, fuck that. Fade it.
Foles is the backup guy. He's going to come in and save the day.
That is true.
His MO.
His mystique is coming in, not
that's only his MO because we haven't seen it from Trubisky yet. That's going to be Trubisky's MO by week 6 because Foles is going to be the starter. Fuck it up. Then Trubisky comes in and we're like, wait.
It's going to be Ryan Tannehill.
Trubisky the GOAT? Yeah, exactly.
All righty. Joe Burrow will have a better fantasy season than Aaron Rodgers. Parade it or fade it?
Whew. That's close.
The known versus the unknown.
I will parade it. I went with the known over the unknown before, and I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna go against that grain. The Bengals aren't the world's greatest team, so I think in one of Nick's earlier point, I think they're gonna throw the ball a lot. He's the number 1 guy. He comes right in. He's got some pretty good weapons. AJ Green comes back. He's got Mixon, Boyd. You got a pissed off Aaron Rodgers, which would kind of make me lean towards that, but they're gonna still be a run-heavy team. Drafted Dylan in the 2nd round, added nothing to that wide receiving core. So Joe Burrow comes in, gets every opportunity, finishes higher than Aaron Rodgers.
I do think that is the case. Aaron Rodgers is just not a buy in fantasy this year. And you think about Burrow coming in, like usually quarterbacks who get picked first overall, the reason they're getting picked first overall is because that team fucking sucks, right? And they come into a situation where they have no pass catchers, they have no offensive line. That's not going to be the case with Cincinnati. So he's already set up with a nice infrastructure. And I like Zach Taylor as a head coach. And like you said, they're a very pass-heavy offense. I think they passed it at like a clip of 63%, which was, number 5 in the NFL last year. They got a Vegas total of like 5.5 wins.
Yeah, can't really see that going down.
Yeah, so, with a more trusted quarterback, I'm sure they'll open up the offense a lot more. And you have Tyler Boyd, you have Higgins, you have Joe Mixon out of the backfield.
Higgins.
You have whatever you want from Auden Tate or AJ Green. If either of those 2 fucking tall dudes can be on the field or produce on the field for even a portion of the season, you have a good stable weapons for Joe Burrow. So that combined with the fact that he's a good runner as well, I think is something that is also not talked about enough with Joe Mixon, right? We want to talk about mobile quarterbacks like Daniel Jones, and Mixon already has his reception problems, right? Where he's like hasn't been catching more than 35 passes in the season. Burrow's going to be taking some of those rushing attempts, and this is just a tangent I'm going on because it popped into my head right now. But it's another thing to be a little bit concerned about with Mixon because the passing game is the only part of that to be concerned with. But overall, I'll go with Burrow.
Play devil's advocate for your last point. Joe Burrow threw it to Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 55 receptions in college, which is like unheard of. So does that maybe sway you back a little bit?
I mean, I've looked at this, and I think that's more of a Brady thing, a Joe Brady scheme thing, because when you look at the 55 receptions, it is a very, very big raw mark, but you also had a lot of other weapons on that team catching it. Like Justin Jefferson caught like 111 passes. When you're looking at the percentage of the passes that he caught, that 55 receptions is not as elite as like 55 receptions just in a vacuum, like raw total. You know what I mean? So it seems to me it's more of a scheme thing because the year before he didn't throw to his running backs at a high clip really at all. So I don't think it's Burrow making the running backs, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, very interesting. I think it's weird how like Aaron Rodgers, you like hear him for fantasy now, you almost like you're like,
Yeah.
He's got like a bad taste to him now. It's like, I don't really want
last year, really,
I just find it's weird how quick things change.
Yeah.
he's getting older too. So it's
All right. Oh, this one's good. Next one. Ready? All right. Snacks truly believes he's a piece of the Giants organization. Parade it or fade it.
It's an easy parade. I don't think it. I know it. There's like no in between. Animal. I legitimately am. Jerry Reese called me after they won the Super Bowl in 2011. He called me and asked if I wanted to help with the design of the ring. I said no. I said that's the players. They were on the field doing it, so let them do it. But it's 100% a parade because it's 100% fact.
I want to believe you, but
I'm gonna
so ridiculous.
parade it. Snacks is a psycho, and
For lack of a better term.
Snacks, I legitimately believe sometimes that you think that like wins or losses are dictated by like superstitious things that you do.
I'm the most superstitious person I've ever met in my life.
You believe that their 2 championships don't happen without you in the equation.
100%, 100,000%.
Yeah, so
legitimately 100%, 1,000 positive, yes.
If
I'm not alive or if I'm not a Giants fan, they never, ever win those 2 championships against the Patriots. Never, ever.
All right, so parade it, everybody. Parade that fucking thing. All right.
Snacks is a New York Giant.
I legitimately am.
Okay, here's another one.
Nice animal. Great segue.
All right, I'm sorry. 2 head coaches will be fired before the end of the season. Parade it or fade it.
How many coaches have we had fired in season the last few years?
Usually there's always one, and then someone usually makes it to week 17.
I'm gonna fade it.
I'm gonna fade that too.
I'm gonna fade it because it's always overhyped.
Monday,
yeah. People always are like, oh, all these guys are gonna get fired by the end of the year, and like that puts your franchise in such fluctuation in the middle of a fucking season that for the most part it's ROI negative when you do that, even if the coach is a poor coach. I think that
you just wait the year out and you fire him that next Monday. It's
yeah. So I'm gonna go with fade it and say like maybe we see one, but you also look at the teams that are competing for like the lowest win totals, like Cincinnati. They're not firing Zach Taylor. I think even like Arizona's still down like 5.5 or 6. They're obviously not firing.
The Giants aren't gonna fire Judge.
Yeah, they're not.
Well, I mean, it's his first year.
Right.
I would assume that he's not going to get fired.
Maybe Atlanta, because we were really close to letting go of Quinn midway through the year, and then they went on their win streak. So if that happens again,
I'm thinking was maybe Quinn, was maybe Marone,
Adam Gase,
Patricia.
There's a couple.
There's actually a lot of options.
Because there's a couple guys that were very close last year. They made it. So maybe now, halfway through, they're underperforming. They're gone. Who knows?
I just rarely
got a guy
like...
in the organization that you want to fill in. Maybe
I think Marone could be a shoo-in for that because the Jaguars, their ownership is a little quirky, so they might not really care about that perception. And I could see Marone get it. Atlanta. That's a good point. He was very close, like mid-year, being fired, Quinn. But I don't think they're going to be that awful again. So I think he's going to stick it out.
Yeah, in theory, I want to be like 6 or 7 of them are getting canned by like week
week 7, they're gone.
It just never happens though. So I'll still fade it.
All righty. Another NFL player will get arrested before this episode airs on Friday. Parade it or fade it.
Gotta go parade it. The people are itching to get out of their houses and fucking cause. I'm gonna fucking get arrested probably before this episode airs. I'm going to Central Park again on Thursday. I'm ready to go out there naked and strip
cheeks out.
Yeah, cheeks out for the fucking boys. So
this might be the biggest parade one on this list.
Yo, it's been such a hot streak lately. Like listen, NFL players get arrested a good amount, but like the past week, you got 3 or 4 just in this week, right? Between Dunbar, Baker.
Well, let me ask you: is Pac-Man Jones technically still an NFL player? Because that's a fucking lock.
Is Burfict back? Well, no, he don't get really arrested off the field. He waits till he's on the field. Yeah,
he does his work on the field.
He's respectable, right?
Easy parade. Then we'll see. We'll keep an eye out on the headlines before Friday. Wes Welker hates Julian Edelman. Parade it or fade it.
You know what, dude? I feel like these little dudes like Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, Wes Welker, for whatever reason, just have every time I see them like on camera or something, they just have this like built up like hatred in their heart of like everything. You know what I mean? Like I always feel like
man complex.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Napoleon complex. But little people are always like angry, I guess, just at the world in general. And this gives him way more motivation. It's like Jordan. It's like you get someone who's naturally angry, even though he's not naturally angry, but he uses it for motivation. But if you get someone who's naturally angry, it's so easy to push them over the edge. So the Wes Welker, Julian Edelman thing, I know this is very psychological and very in-depth right here, but I'm going to go with fucking parade it. He has to.
Was that a subliminal shot at me, like saying, because I'm not a very big person and I'm a very angry person. So like, did you just
know when I think of Napoleon complex, I think of people who are who try to turn themselves into a square. Like they're short, so they try to get really wide. You know, people that are like, I think there's an inherent attempt by males, like male humans, to hit a certain like circumference, which is why I think that men who are shorter usually have this idea that they need to get wider, and men who are always taller, like very rarely you ever see them get like really, you see them get really, like they always stay like lean and tall, right? You don't see them getting like stocky and shit.
It's hard to put on muscle on a skinny frame.
Yeah, I just think that they also think they don't need it. It's like you don't need it.
Accepted.
If you're tall, you know, everyone thinks about mating, right? I think that's the natural brain operation for males. And when you're tall, you don't need to be like muscular or anything to attract females. And on the opposite, when you're shorter, it's tougher. So you try to get wider. Case in point,
after circling back,
Julian Edelman, Wes Welker fucking hate each other.
Yeah, I think that's a parade too. You don't have a bunch of white, skinny, short receivers getting the ball thrown to him by Tom Brady and not have some animosity in there. So always trying to one up the other. Hogan, Amendola, Edelman, Welker. Jesus Christ, how many more of them are there? But easy parade.
All right, very fair. I agree. Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson will not be the week 1 QB1 this season. Parade it or fade.
Do you have schedules on hand?
No, I don't. So just
fucking animal. What do we? Well, for them too.
It doesn't matter about schedules. It's all about talent.
We're talking week 1, Matt. Do you remember Lamar Jackson in week 1 of last year against Miami? It fucking absolutely matters.
Yeah, it matters. I know Kansas City has Houston, I believe.
They're at Kansas City against Houston, which is a fucking disgusting pass defense.
So I'm going to
Baltimore is also at home against the Cleveland Browns.
That's not a terrible defense, but
division game,
and they played them well last year too. So I'm gonna fade this with the fact that Mahomes comes out after his first Super Bowl
hangover, man. I don't know.
Nah, against the Houston Texans, no, it's not happening. They're gonna blow the fuck out of them out on opening day, and I think Mahomes probably throws for 5 touchdowns as his coming out party and has the most fantasy points quarterback week 1. So fade for me.
I'm gonna fade that, or I'm gonna say neither of them are the quarterback one.
Parade it.
The first game, Kansas City, parade it, is Thursday night. I don't think we're going to see the first game on Thursday night. It's always like weird shit going on Thursday. That's why we always talk about not wanting to play fantasy players who are on Thursday night games. I don't think we get it from Mahomes. So basically, I'm taking it Lamar Jackson against the field. And I see a few games where we could see some blow-ups, like Seattle's playing at Atlanta in the Dome week 1. So I think either of those two quarterbacks can have like a big shootout blow-up game. Buffalo is playing at home against the Jets, so we could see Josh Allen like pop off for a big rushing game or something. I think there are some games on the schedule where we might see some big pop numbers from quarterbacks. So I'm going to reserve this and say L. Jackson, Pat Mahomes are not the quarterback one in week 1.
Well, I disagree. So
good for you. You're fucking wrong.
I'm going to take the 2 best at their position and let it ride.
All right.
Great value, huh? What's the plus on that? Plus 1,200 or so?
No, you just made it up. So.
There's no way you're getting plus 1,200 on those guys being quarterback 1.
Why?
That's probably plus 200 maybe.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I would say plus 350.
There's 30 other options.
Exactly. But those are the best.
I'm taking 2 instead of.
This isn't golf. You're talking about golf odds right now, where there's fucking 50 guys and they all have the same odds basically. No, sorry, buddy. All right, we got a couple more here. AJ Green is bike. Parade it or fade it?
Fade it. Next one.
Go.
I knew that was going to be quick. All righty.
That's because you're trying to trade for him in all your dynasty leagues.
No. Not me. All right. Daniel Jones can't spell onomatopoeia. Parade it or fade it?
Nobody can spell that. Fade
Dude,
it.
this is not true. I'm going to fade it. Daniel Jones might be the smartest man in America. He went to Duke University. If you're going to Duke, you're pretty smart. And he just so happens to be the best quarterback in NFL history. So he can do anything he wants. Fade it.
Hold on. I'm super curious. If anyone in the audience that's listening right now went to an Ivy League school, can you drop a comment down below? One, I just want to know if anyone in our audience is actually smart. I can't imagine our audience is filled with that many smart people. But if you are one of the smart people, please drop a comment down below. I want to know what college you went to. And on top of that, if you did go to an Ivy League school, can you spell onomatopoeia without Googling it?
Yeah, I learned how to spell that in like 7th grade. There's a way to do it.
Oh no, ma. Well, don't tell him. Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
I'm not gonna I don't need to fucking.
It's gonna be on the screen, like on the question, probably. They'll see
stop.
it.
Blur it out.
Scott will blur it out. All right, yeah, fair.
This is rude.
All right, let's see. I think I got 2 more here. I got Giants one too, Snacks.
You just did a Giants one.
I know. I went out of order a little bit here.
You're not good at counting. You can spell onomatopoeia, but you can't count.
Yeah, pretty much. Larry Fitzgerald fizzles away this season. Paraded or faded?
As opposed to when he fizzled away last season?
He wasn't much of a factor.
But I mean, like, yeah, I guess.
That's why I said
I didn't like this one.
I'm going to fade it.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if Andy Isabella overtook Fitzgerald this year.
No. This is his last swan song, and Arizona's gonna make the playoffs on the back of Hopkins and Fitz.
If you're talking about wide receiver 2, yeah, I fully expect it to be Hopkins then Kirk. I'm talking about for who takes over wide receiver 3. Isabella's explosive as fuck. He adds an element to that offense I don't think they have elsewhere.
But Fitz.
I think Fitz is still like on the field because he's Fitz, and like that's what I'm saying. Like, is he gonna finally fizzle away enough where like? Like he should be out of the league. I love
when you finally believe that he's going to be done.
Yeah, like he's an all-timer, but
I think this is it. This is it. I mean, it really was last year, so there's no reason to think
he's going out on top. I heard he's in the best shape of his life. He's going out on top.
Be ready. Be expected to be ready by week 1.
Yes.
All right.
No restrictions.
Love
no
that.
snap counts.
Yeah, just ready to go. Okay. Josh Rosen starts more games
Animals
than Tua this season.
Fuck. I thought I was going to throw you off.
Timeout.
What?
Is Josh Rosen still in the NFL?
Yes.
Okay.
On what team?
Is he still in the Dolphins?
He's on the same team as Tua. That's why I have that question.
That's going to be a
big fade. He's not going to be on the field.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see.
Yeah.
It's either going to be Fitz or Tua. They're not going to be like.
It's the only way it can happen.
Well, that's what I'm curious to see. I don't see them. I feel like they're going to do the Mahomes plan with Tua, where they give him the whole year to like learn, relax.
Which is fun, but they'll have Fitz in, and if Fitz like breaks his clavicle or breaks his neck, he's still going to play. So you're
thinking that they sit Tua. You're thinking they sit Tua and just split the games between Fitz and Rosen.
Not even that, but like eventually, like how are you going to start Fitz all season? I don't see that. Like maybe 5-6 games.
I think they're trying to build a culture there, though, and I think Fitz does that.
And they were very competitive last year, Max. They added plenty of talent this year, so
I'm just what I mean. About, like, what's the plan for Rosen? I know he's probably going to be out of the NFL, but like, dude, he's not going to start a game.
Rosen is like. It's fucking dead opportunity cost. It's like if you're gonna keep stringing him along and use games to start him and shit, it's just
like you're doing everybody a disservice in your organization.
Right. Try and start him 2 games, see if he does well, and then trade him. Like I don't get
how many times is he gonna get that in his career though?
I know.
Every time he's gone in, he's been really bad, and he's probably not much better in practice. Or else I'm sure that they would try the 23-year-old over the 48-year-old. So
my main thought was I just don't see Tua starting games this season, not because of talent or anything like that, just because they're gonna wanna do the Mahomes model, the Rodgers, but just like let him sit for a year.
I can definitely see them doing a full-fledged redshirt year, no matter
games.
What. No matter
Rosen
what.
starts 1, and that's it.
I get it. I just don't trust Fitz to come off that field ever.
Yeah, I think it's either Fitz or Tua, and I'll fade it. I don't think Rosen gets on the field.
All right, I do think he gets on the field. So put that one down in your books.
His career's over.
Yeah, well, it's already been. All right. The New York Giants have won 12 games in 3 seasons. This season, they will win half that. Parade it or fade it.
So 6.
I just don't care.
I do.
This one was mainly for Snacks.
I don't have any energy left to argue this.
I'll take this. I will parade it because they're gonna win 10. They're gonna go to the playoffs. So obviously that's over 6.
Parade it because they're gonna win 10. They're gonna go to the playoffs.
They're gonna be 10 and 6. I told myself I wouldn't say that, and I'm not even drinking. So I can't believe I just did that. Scott,
at least you didn't put any money on the line.
Sick. All right,
yeah,
last one
There's still
because
plenty of time before September.
Snacks is out of his gourd.
Out of fucking pocket.
We're just gonna end this. Last one. None of these rookies win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, CeeDee Lamb, Joe Burrow, or Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. Well,
paraded or faded?
That has to be a fade.
I'm gonna fade it, yeah, because
it's gonna be Burrow or it's going to be one of these running backs on a high-end winning team, and that's probably going to be Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I believe the odds have it favorite is Burrow. Second favorite is Tua. Third favorite is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm with you in the fact that they're not going to throw Tua out there right away. So for me, he's the worst value on the list because if you're not getting more than 8 games, then you're not going to win the MVP most likely, or the offensive rookie of the year, which probably means it's going to be Joe Burrow. All he has to do is put up like a mediocre year.
Reasonable year.
Yeah.
And he's going to be.
For some reference, the past 4 rookies of the year, last year was Kyler Murray. The year before that was Saquon, then Kamara, then Dak. So it's been quarterbacks and running backs.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be Burrow or Clyde Edwards-Helaire most likely because Kansas City is going to be, a team that wins 12 games. Clyde will probably score, 10 touchdowns or some shit like that. So I think it'll be very close between those two. And the fact that they're both on the list makes me feel like there's no way anyone else outside of that list gets it.
Hard agree.
Sick. Yeah, I was just wondering if you thought like maybe there'd be like a sneaky guy like a Cam Akers sneak in there or something. I personally don't think so, but or maybe even one of the wide receivers.
Maybe one of these receivers that pop off like OBJ did his rookie.
Yeah, it was such a deep receiver class.
Like
maybe one of those guys goes nuts.
Maybe hear me out. Maybe LaMichael P. Ryan pops off.
Yo, what are his odds? It's got to be like plus 10,000.
Oh, it's got to be way worse.
I was expecting like a serious tone, like maybe
honestly,
my boy Rager in Philly as the number one guy just gonna pop off. No,
I know it's gonna sound crazy, but P. Ryan could be a great value play here, right? I mean,
honestly, fuck you, Animal.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Throw $5 on him. You could win,
I'd rather use that shit on a coffee. I'd rather use that to wipe my ass.
To be honest, so would I. I would rather just hang the $5 up in my room somewhere and just say, God forbid, if I get no more money, then we have that there. By the way, I want to
5.
Our good friend Isaiah tweeting at us, buys our stuff, great guy.
Sure.
I joined his Dynasty League and he did a trivia and I won the signed Mike Allstott helmet. How fucking cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mike Allstott's the GOAT.
He was a beast.
I have his jersey in my closet.
He was a beast. So thank you, Isaiah. You're a really good guy.
That's dope.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
All right, that's all we got for today's episode. I hope y'all enjoyed, and like we said, next week we will be back in person. Better than fucking, actually probably not better than ever, but we'll try hard to be good again. We're so sick of doing this fucking Zoom bullshit. I'm sure you guys are sick of the Zoom shit too. So fucking spirits are going to be up. Energy's going to be up. I'm excited to get things rolling at the headquarters, even though we're not really supposed to, but fuck them. We're young. We're not going to...
No, fuck them's right, because we literally said to each other, we're like, we don't want to be those assholes that are all together and doing this. So let's be responsible. Let's do everything via the computer. No more. We're done. We'll be back in studio. We're done.
It's acceptable now, though. Plenty of other places people are getting together. There's tons of podcasts that they're like. Pardon my take. They're doing stool streams. They're all in the same room together and stuff. I mean, it's not like we're going out afterwards. I mean,
no,
it's true. We're not like having a
maybe we'll go to Central Park after and get fucking wasted together. That'd be kind of fun. Maybe we'll do the episode of Central Park. It'd be fucking litty.
Oh my god, that's a great idea. Actually,
we'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm excited. If you guys haven't signed up for the newsletter yet, it'll be coming out on Monday. Chronicle episode chronology number 2. Done by Snacks, and actually we're all kind of contributing to it. So
everybody's contributing.
It's a cool little brand building thing. BigDogsFantasy.com. It'll pop up on the top. We love you. Fade the public as always, and go follow us on the Twitter. See you next week.